Okay. As part of the last example, we finished this one, MVC one.
Yeah.
Finished it?
No, it was not running.
Okay. Okay. It's open. It is taking this much time. Okay, so far, right, what we saw, as part of IOC model, what we are doing, we are creating an object. As part of IOC model, what we are doing, just we are creating an object, correct?
Yeah.
We're creating an object and we are trying to getting the object by passing the bean ID. Then we are, and there are two approaches which are like a constructor and setter getter. As part of the IOC model, we are using that approaches and we are trying to get the object. Okay.
Right.
And now the second module is MVC. So what is the MVC? So MVC means model view controller. So here, right, it's kind of a pattern. So model view controller.
Yeah.
So what is the model view controller? So these are the different layers. So what is the purpose of these layers? Basically, we are going to create three different layers. Okay. So how these layers will talk? How these layers will talk and what is the advantage of this segregation we are going to see. Okay, if you see your web application, let me type something. So if you see any web application, right? So first we have some pages, HTML pages, view, correct?
Yeah.
User can able to see this thing. That one we used to call it as a view.
Yeah.
Okay. And from the view, what user will do? User will click something, correct?
Yeah.
He will perform some action. So that action will reach some controller. We need something to receive the action and to process that action, correct? We need to receive the action. Whatever user got clicked, that one we used to call it as a controller.
Yeah.
Okay. So to process the that request, right, sometime we need to fetch the data from the database, correct?
Right.
We need to fetch the data from database, or we need to do some calculation from controller side, and we need to give back that response to the user again back, correct?
Yes.
Basically, we need to prepare some kind of response, what we are going to display to the user, what we need to display to the user. That one we used to call as a model. We need to prepare something for the user. Okay.
Yeah.
Then send back to the user.
Yeah.
Now all three layers are, we are differentiated these layers in a different way, so that so let's suppose you want to modify only controller logic, just pick this one and modify. You want to modify only user related things, just pick this one and modify. correct?
Yeah.
Now everything is separated with different layers,
Yeah.
correct? And if you use JSP, right, inside JSP you can able to write HTML, JavaScript, Java code, correct?
Yeah.
So inside one JSP you can able to do all these things, correct?
Yes.
But that is not the right way to do the things. So that if you write everything in one page, so to maintain that code is very difficult,
Yeah.
correct? That is one disadvantage. And if someone is trying to understand the code, it's very difficult. So
Yeah.
maintain, yeah. You have any question?
No, no.
No. To maintain the code is very difficult if you segregate the codes into different layers. Like so basically Vue is having HTML JavaScript code. So basically first Vue is having HTML comma JavaScript code. Okay.
Yeah.
Model is having control. Sorry, not first. We will see controller. So controller is having servlets
Yeah.
to deal the action or to process the action or to handle the request.
Right.
Okay. And
Yeah.
model is kind of data binding. So what data you are going to display to the user? So you need to prepare some data, correct?
Yeah.
So these are the different layers. So so what you are going to modify, just you can decide from your side, and you can pick corresponding layer and you can modify it.
Yeah.
So now you got the advantage of MVC module, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now just we saw, I mean, just we had a glance theoretically. Now we will see one example so that you will get some more idea. Okay, now come back to the example. So first, right, what I'm trying to do here. So this is a basically web application. Why? Because we need HTML, servlets, all those things, right? So basically, I created one web application. Okay, inside web application, you will see two things: SRC and web content. Correct?
Yeah.
Inside SRC, you will write all your servlets. Inside web content, you will write all your HTMLs, JSP, JavaScript, all those things. Correct?
Yeah.
So these two JSPs are available, and some web.xml. I will explain that thing, and all supporting libraries I copied into lib folder. Okay,
Okay.
the supporting libraries are same. So whatever we used as part of IOC, the same libraries I used to copy here.
Yeah.
Okay, now first let if you deploy this application, what will happen? So this HTML, this JSPs will be deployed, and as part of our welcome page, right, I had given index.jsp,
Yeah.
correct? So whenever I'm running this application, first time it will load this index.jsp, correct? Default page.
Yeah.
So far it's clear, right? This is a simple web application and I'm trying to load the index.jsp page. Okay.
Okay. Mhm.
So whenever I'm trying to load the index.jsp, what will happen if you see inside the body, right? I'm trying to display one of the hyperlink.
Yeah.
So this hyperlink, the link name is get message from Spring.
Yeah.
Okay. And if I click that link, what is the action? Hello.do. So this is my action name.
Yeah.
Okay, let me deploy it and I will show you the link. So now I deployed my web application and index.jsp loaded, and I can enable see the hyperlink, correct?
Yep.
Okay, if I click this link, right, what will happen? It will trigger one action, and the action name is hello.do, correct?
Yeah.
So for every action, whatever you are triggering, first it will reach web.xml, correct?
Yeah.
Now go back to the web.xml. So inside the web.xml, we have already registered one filter, sorry, one action, star.do. What it will do, any name star, any name dot do. So that action we are sending to controller, means controller servlet. Basically, we have
Yeah.
created one servlet, and that name of the servlet is controller. So our, what is our action name? Hello.do. So any name dot do. So that request, all that requests we are sending to controller, correct? This point is clear?
Yeah.
Okay, now come back to the controller servlet. So who created this servlet? Basically, this servlet was created by Spring people. It was not created by me. If you see the package, right, org.springframework.web servlet dispatcher servlet. When we are discussing of the servlet, right, so that time also it's kind of similar concept, right? We used to create a servlet and we used to register that servlet into web.xml, correct?
Right.
In the similar way. So but here that only the difference is here this servlet was created by Spring people.
Yeah.
So that is the only difference. Okay, now this is my action. Okay, that action I'm delegating to controller servlet, and the controller servlet full class name is org.springframework.web.servlet. Okay, this is my original servlet, dispatcher servlet. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
and another small point is if you see here load on startup one. So what it mean by, so whenever you are first time when you are restarting your server,
Okay.
so this servlet will be loaded into the memory.
Yeah.
So that it means. So whenever you are restarting your servlet first time, so that time this servlet object will be created automatically and it will be loaded into the memory.
Okay.
So this so far it is clear.
Yeah.
Okay. Finally, the action whatever you are clicking, it will reach to the dispatcher servlet. Okay.
Right.
Now, so whenever you are loading the server first time, so the servlet will be loaded into the memory, and what it servlet will do, right? It will look for one of the XML inside the servlet. If you see the code, right? So no need to verify. You can keep this point in your mind. If you see what the servlet will do, it servlet will look for one of the XML.
Okay.
So this servlet will look for one of the XML. That XML name look like this. Any name, any name hyphen servlet dot XML. You can give any name hyphen servlet dot XML.
Okay.
So controller, sorry. So controller hyphen servlet dot XML, correct?
Right.
So you can give any name hyphen servlet dot XML. So it will look for this XML.
Yeah.
So this XML we have already placed in web.inf, correct?
Right.
So what it will do, when we are restarting the server, it will read this XML.
Okay.
Okay. now we will see, what is there inside this XML. Okay, basically what is there inside this XML. So basically we are triggering one action, correct? Hello.do.
Yeah.
So now come back to the the servlet. So we need to process, someone need to process your request, right? Some controller need to process your request, right?
Yeah.
So if you see this, basically you have to write one controller, one servlet. Controller means here servlet. So first let me open the servlet. So this is one of my controller. So hello controller implements controller. Controller is an interface. It's like in when we are discussing about servlet, right? What we used to do, we are writing a public class a login servlet extends HTTP servlet, correct? We
Yeah.
were doing like that. The similar way here, we need to write a controller, and it should implement controller interface.
Okay.
Okay, and this is an interface, and inside that you have one method, handle request.
Okay.
And this method we're having two arguments, HTTP request, HTTP servlet request, and HTTP servlet response.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yeah.
and you can able to read all the request parameters here, and we have a response object, request and response object you have. Okay, and we will see it later what is written model view. Okay,
Okay.
so basically you have written one controller. That controller you have to register under controller servlet.xml. So we have a bean stack, bean. You can give some name for your controller and give full path of your controller.
Okay.
So this point is here.
Yeah. So ID giving name is anything else?
You can give any name. It is same like
Okay.
IOC, you are giving bean ID equal to customer, and you are giving full path of customer class, correct?
Okay.
So the similar way you can give any name here and full class path.
Okay.
Okay, this point is clear, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now another thing is we need to map your request to your controller, correct? So if you have 10 controllers, what request should go to the which request should go to the which controller? That is a question, right?
Yes.
So for that purpose, what we are trying to do, we are writing a piece of code. So bean ID URL mapping, you have to give same thing. And another thing is this is Spring related URL handler mapping. So for each request, we need to delegate to for each request we need to delegate to a particular controller, correct?
Yeah.
So if you are raising so many requests like a login.do and hello.do, delete.do, there is so many requests if you are trying to create, correct? So
Right.
each request we need to delegate to one particular request, one particular controller, correct?
Yeah.
So and maps, and this is your action name and this is your controller. So if the action name is hello.do, so that will go to the Spring Hello request controller.
Yeah. So in the class, actually, you gave us some one path, and then where did you get this path? The
Which
one
one?
is dot spring. The
So this
in
is
the
part
view.
of library. You no need to read
Okay.
it. Spring people written this class,
Okay.
but you have
Okay.
to use it.
When I'll create the hello control, it will come automatic. No, the servlet.xml, it will come automatically, or I need to copy from
You
somewhere
need to
else.
copy it from somewhere else, and you can write your own class here.
Okay.
You need to copy somewhere else, and you can give your own name here and here and here, and these things are common for everyone.
Okay. Okay.
Just you need to copy the XML from the internet, and you can give your bean class.
Okay.
Okay, and
Yeah.
for this is your action, and this action you want to delegate to hello Spring controller. Sorry, Spring Hello request controller.
Okay.
So this point is clear.
Yeah.
Okay, now on click of hello.do hyperlink, finally your request will reach hello controller, correct?
Okay. Yeah.
So how this is happening? While restarting the server, this dispatcher servlet will be loaded, correct? And this dispatcher servlet will read this XML and it will keep into the memory.
Okay.
Okay, how it will go? First action. Okay, so action will reach web.xml, correct?
Yeah.
Right here, the action I will tell you. Hello.do. So on click of this one, where it will reach? It will reach web.xml, correct?
Yeah.
So from there it will go to the dispatcher servlet.
Right.
Okay, so inside the dispatcher servlet, it is having all the registered servlets, right? It is there inside this memory, correct?
Yeah.
So from there it will delegate, it will try to pick corresponding controller and it will go to the specific controller, correct?
Yeah.
Now finally it will reach a controller. So this is the controller, and inside the controller we have a request and response, correct?
That's right.
So what we have to return back? We have to prepare a model and view. Model means, like I said, data, right?
Yeah.
So we need to prepare so this model and view is a object. If you see here, right? So this is a class. Basically we need to create this object, model and view. Okay, and what page you want to display to the user, what response you want to display to the user,
Okay.
that you can write, you can design one page. I want to display response as a response.jsp page, and inside that what you want to display. Page name
Okay.
is response.jsp, you want to send back as a response, and inside that page I want to display something. So this is a key and this is a value.
Right.
So you want to display this page, and inside this page you want to send some data. So this is a key and this is a value.
Okay.
So like a request dot set attribute, session dot set attribute we are doing, right?
Right.
The similar way here also you can use this pattern. This is a page and this is a key and this is a value,
Value. Right.
and we have to return this entire object. So that will be
Right.
displayed to the user. On click of hyperlink, he will see this response.jsp as a response. Okay,
Right.
now come back to the response.jsp. So this response page will be displayed to the user finally. So this is also a JSP, so you can write HTML tag, correct?
Yeah.
So body is a HTML tag. Inside that, right, I am trying to read the key. What is the key name here?
Key name is hello.
Hello, correct? So and
Yeah.
corresponding value is hi, how are you, something, correct?
Yeah.
So I am trying to read that key inside my JSP page,
Okay.
and I want to display it. So to read the key and to display the key, I'm using JSTL library. So this is one of the way to read the key from the servlet and to display the UI. So basically we have to use this one, this syntax, like a http colon java dot sun dot jsp jstl. So how we will get this runtime, how we will get this environment, these libraries, these tag lib libraries. So we have to include one jar that is called jstl.jar. If you use
Okay.
this jar, right, jstl.jar plus standard.jar, so these two jars are required to get this jstl library environment.
Okay.
You can use same thing, and you can give prefix any name. You can give whatever name you want, and same name you have to use here, CXX.
Okay. Prefix. Okay. Can you tell me about the prefix? What actually? Why are you using the prefix here?
Prefix, right? Whenever you are trying to give, you have to give some alias name.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, alias name dot. Inside that, there is so many functions are available. If you want to iterate some list of the things, you can able to iterate it. If you want to remove something from the loop, there is so many operations are available. If you have a list of customers, if you want to iterate the each customer, so you can able to use prefix name colon for each. Did you see there?
Okay. So if I give the if I give the prefix name and colon, then it will come this command.
Yes, prefix name colon and control space bar. Just type control space bar and it will display all possible options. If you want to write
Okay.
some when condition, switch condition and all, so you can able to use it. Now
Okay.
I want to display something, so I'm using out.
Okay.
What value you want to display? I want to display this one, and I am trying to read the value from the servlet. So you have to use dollar symbol, flower bracket, and key name. So that will be
Okay.
displayed to the user.
Yeah.
To get this prefix, you have to import this taglib library. Okay.
Yeah.
Now let me go here and just click here. So you are getting. Hi, how are you?
Yeah. So that means that actually first mainly index.jsp is actually in the heading toward the web XML, and in the web XML it goes to the database servlet.
Correct. Yes.
So servlet actually hitting the the uh, something what is called the servlet servlet dot yeah servlet.xml, and then inside the XML they are heading toward the controller. Controller
Correct.
is actually is okay.
It will
In the
process the
controller actually,
yes
yeah, I have to give some
response. What you want to do? You have to process the
what is
request.
and the key values. What is the key, and then what are the values I want to show,
Correct. Yeah.
and then if I give the suppose page the response dot whatever JSP, and JSP is looping to another, and the JSP is in the JSTL library under
Correct.
the
Correct.
library. Okay. I have one question, that prefix and the suffix. Suffix also we need to use, or only prefix is okay?
Only prefix is sufficient.
Okay.
So you can give any name here, prefix and same name colon. What operation you want to use inside that library? There is so many operations. Which operation you
Okay.
want to use?
Okay. So, and the dollar symbol and the flower bracket is actually the
Syntax.
syntax for.
Syntax. Yeah, you have to
Uh,
follow the syntax.
okay.
Okay, this example is clear, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and in this example, we are not reading the request parameter, like we are not sending username, password, we are not sending anything, right?
Right.
So as part of next example, what I want to do, I want to send some parameters as part of my request,
Okay.
like username and password, right? Then we are reading inside servlet what we request dot get parameter and username, request dot get parameter password, correct?
Yeah.
We used to read like that, correct?
Yeah.
So that is an extra task we are doing. So inside your JSP page, whatever name you are giving, okay, inside your JSP page, whatever name you are giving, and the same name you are using, and you are trying to read the value inside your servlet, correct?
Yeah.
So far that you know very well, correct? How
Yeah.
to read the request parameter inside your servlet.
All right.
Okay, now as part of second example, what we are going to do, we are not reading the username and password manually. So it will automatically, it will add your username and password values to your Pojo class. So how it will add, that we will see as part of next example. So it is also almost similar kind of the previous example, but there is a small change. I will show you that one.
Okay.
So this is also one of the web application. Okay. So
Yeah.
this is also one of the web application, and we have web content and SRC.
Yeah.
Inside web content, we have WebINF and some set of JSPs. And inside WebINF, we have web.xml and controller-servlet.xml and application context. I will tell you what is this XML and some libraries.
Okay.
Okay, libraries I need to copy from this example because I have already deleted it. Copy this library and paste into. Okay, now as part of the second example, what I am trying to do here, right? So first time when I will deploy this application inside my web.xml, I already configured index.jsp welcome file.
Yeah.
So first time what it will do, it will try to load the index.jsp, correct?
Right.
Okay, index.jsp, it will load, and as part of the index.jsp, I am trying to display one of the hyperlink.
Right.
See, if you see this one, ahref, so this is my action name, correct?
Right.
And if you see here, right, core colon message something you will see here. So what is this mean?
Yeah.
So for right, the labels we are hard coding like username, password, and the link name we are hard coding, right? We are
Yes.
writing here, get message something, and so the same thing will be displayed in the to the user, correct?
Yeah.
But right now, what I want to do, I don't want to hard code the labels inside your JSP. I don't want to hard code. Basically, I want to read the labels. Labels means username, password, first name, last name, correct?
Yeah.
So these labels I don't want to hard code in my JSP. I want to read it from some of the properties file.
Right.
So why we need these things from the properties file, right? Say for instance, right now I will tell you the need so that you will understand very easily. So right now, user name colon and some text box here. Okay,
Yeah.
password. So this is where we are going to display right now. Just assume. So
Right.
after some days, what user want? Can you please give name as a capital? User requested this change.
Okay.
So what you have to do? You have to open your JSP and you have to modify it. Correct?
Right.
To make n from lower to uppercase. Correct?
Right.
But the similar, if you don't want to modify your JSP page, you can read these labels from properties file. Property file
Oh.
means I will show you how it look like. So this is one of the sample properties file. So this is key and corresponding value. Key means you are going to give here user nm equal to what you want to display to the user. So this is key and this is corresponding value you are going to display to the user.
Right.
So if you want to display to the username as a small case, modify it here. And you read this key and display in your HTML page, JSP page.
Right.
So that is the advantage of this properties file. So you can able to maintain the values key value pair. So this is key equal to value, key equal to value.
Okay. So this message properties you have to create separately.
Yes, you have to create this file inside your SRC along with your servlets.
Okay. So this is just a, what kind of file is this? Message
Message dot properties. Any name dot properties.
So how do you create this file?
Just right click and you have one file. This is a file, right?
Yeah.
File. So you can give abc dot properties. Finish it. So you will get this one. So here you can give abc equal to value. So this is the way to create the file, and how to read this file, that I will tell you later.
Okay.
So okay, you can remove it. It is not required. So this is the way to create the file, and this is the way to declare your key and value. So you can read this key in your JSP and you can display it. So this is one of the key. If you see here, go to login.href. So this is a key. So what is the key corresponding value? So this is a key, and corresponding value is click here to login page.
Right.
Basically user will see this page, this name.
Yes.
To get that value, we are using key is click here dot, sorry, go to login dot href.
Href, right.
Okay, and if you see here, write core colon message. So what is this here? If you see here, there is some prefix here, core,
Cool.
and there is some URL, springframework.org.tags. You have to use the same thing, and you have to use some prefix name colon message. So what is the advantage of this message tag, right? So if you want to read some of the properties file key, so you have to import this tag lib library and prefix colon message and corresponding key. Okay.
Yeah.
So how to read? Yeah.
Okay, so if we code colon, so if I write code colon, then it will come so many things, so many.
Yes, there are so many options is there, but one option is how to read the messages, how to read property file message.
Okay, so that code actually coming from the prefix.
Yes, this is the prefix, and how you will get this prefix? You have to use this URI.
URI.
So it will read from your libraries. So this prefix is already registered in your libraries. If you extract this library, right, it is standard.jar. So no, it's not a standard, it's a Spring framework, a Spring context. What is the Spring message? You will see somewhere. Yes, so here, this jar. If you extract this jar, right, Spring message 4.1 jar, so you can able to see this name. They already registered here.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is the purpose of this jar? What is the purpose of this URI, right? So what it will do? So what it will do? It will try to, if is, I will tell you. Let me go back to. So you have web.inf, right?
Yeah.
And inside your web.xml, if you see here, you have one listener. So this is clear, right? Servlet mapping star.do. We are sending request to the controller, and this is your dispatcher servlet.
Right.
Now you will see there is another listener. So what is the purpose of this listener? Listeners means if you are doing some action, it will keep monitor your request, correct?
Yeah.
So here we are going to use one of the listener was created by Spring people.
Okay.
So what this listener will do? What this listener will do? It will look for one of the XML. This context load listener was created by Spring people, and this listener will look for one of the XML. That XML name is application context.xml. There is another XML you will see here.
Okay.
Okay.
So why are you using application context XML?
Yes, I will tell you later. So basically, this listener will look for this XML. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Inside this XML, what we are going to configure is, so there is a beans under bean message source, and this is a Spring resource. It's created by Spring people.
Okay.
Bean, and inside this bean, right, there is a property called base name. For this base name, you have to give your property file location.
Okay.
com.test. If you see here, where is your property file? com.test slash your file name messages, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
So com slash test slash your file name abc.property, then you have to give here
This
abc.
is okay.
Got it right now?
Actually, I'm getting a little confused because so
Okay, I will make it clear for you. So first, right, you have web.xml, correct?
yeah.
So from web.xml, we have one listener, correct?
Yes.
So this is clear. Listener is there, right?
So listener, actually, why I'm using the listener? Because
So whenever you are starting your server, right?
yeah.
So this listener will load into the memory.
Okay.
This is also one of the class, basically. Listener means. So this class, see, this is also one of the context loader. Basically, whenever you are trying to load your server first time,
Okay.
so that time
Yeah.
this listener will be loaded into the memory. Okay.
Yeah.
Listener, you can say one class. So how they implemented, you can see here. So context load listener extends context load listener, and they implemented servlet context listener. So basically, what this listener will do when server is loading first time, it will look for one of the XML. So from web.xml, listener will load, correct?
Yeah.
So listener will look for application context dot xml, correct?
Yeah. Is it always the listener looking for application
Yes, yes,
content?
yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
So how you know how the naming conversion is happening? If you want to read, right, so you have to see here servlet context listener and how they implemented all those things. You can see, you can able to see here, and even dot get servlet context, and you see here get servlet context clear. So you have to see all these implementations, how they are doing that implementation and all. Then you can able to understand basically.
Okay.
So web application context, they will try to get that XML. These are the inside library, just for your understanding I'm showing you. So they will read all, see here parent key, they will read the key and value.
Yep.
Okay, basically they will try to look for one of the XML. So these
Okay.
are the hidden implementations, just for your understanding I'm telling. So basically that listener will look for application.xml, correct?
Right.
So inside this XML, what we are doing, we are trying to register one of the existing bean messages, bean ID message resource, and the class corresponding class is resource bundle, and it was written by Spring people.
Okay.
So what is the advantage of this resource bundle? If you give any property file to the base name equal to value, so this value, right, what is this value? Your message properties file name plus location.
Yeah.
So you are giving input, correct, here value.
Right.
So what it will do, this resource bundle, it will read that properties file, all the keys, and it will keep into the memory.
Right.
So that will become your message source.
Yep.
So what is the advantage of message source? Now go back to your index.jsp. So, so this is your message, correct? So,
Right.
so how you will get this message? If you call core colon message, if you give some code here, right here, so then all the properties file is already read, right? This controller, and it's already kept into the memory, correct? So
Right.
inside your messages, it will look for this key,
Right.
correct? Now, if you pass some key, it will give corresponding value.
Yeah.
Now, you will get corresponding value from your properties file.
Right.
So far, it's clear, right?
Yeah.
Now let me run it and I will show you how the key value is displaying. Okay, now okay. Now you can see here, click here to log in, correct?
Right.
Basically, if you see here, so this is the key we are using. Go to login.href. So what is the key
Right.
name here?
Go to
Go to
login.html.
login.href. And what is the corresponding value here?
Click here to sign login.
Yes. So that's what we are seeing here. Click here to login page. Click here to login page, correct?
Right.
If you want to modify this label, then we have to modify your property file,
The
correct?
right.
Okay, now coming back to the, so this is your action, correct?
Right.
So if you click this one, then it will come to the web.xml, correct?
Right.
Star dot do, it will go to your controller, correct? And this is your controller, and this is your dispatcher servlet. So dispatcher servlet is having all the memory of controller hyphen servlet, correct?
Right.
Now open the controller servlet. And what is your action here?
Do login.
Do, sorry, login dot do.
Login.do.
So correct, this as part of this hyperlink. So if you see here downside, you will see here your action name here. Just keep cursor here. What is the action name?
Login.do.
Correct. Okay. So this is your action name. Login.do. Correct.
Right.
What is the corresponding controller? Spring
Corresponding
login
controller.
request controller. Okay.
Right.
Now look for that controller. So this is the controller I have written. Mapping. Spring login controller. So this is the bin, and it will reach finally get login controller. Correct.
Right.
Now go back to the controller. So this is my controller. So here it is also implemented controller handle request. We have HTTP servlet request, HTTP servlet response, correct?
Right.
So finally what I am trying to return here,
Model and view.
model view, and some page I am returning as a response, correct?
Yeah.
And if you see here, there is no key value. Why? Because
Yeah.
here I don't want to send any value. So in that case, you no need to add any key value. Just I want to display one page, that's all, as a response.
Right.
So far it's clear, right? How we are getting
Yeah.
the view. So let me click the
Yeah.
page and let me get that login dot page. Click here, you will get login.jsp. Oh, something went wrong. Okay, let me build it. It was not built, I guess. Okay, controller. Let me clean build again one more time. This libraries I have deleted, right? So some of the things again I need to download it. Okay. Okay. These libraries I had to download it again back. So every time
Okay.
I'm deleting before sending this file to you people, right? What I used to do, I used to delete these libraries. Now some of the libraries I deleted, but I need to download again back. So that time I will explain you as part of next class. I will fix these errors. Okay, then I will explain you how in the remaining flow. Okay,
Okay. I
we'll
I
yeah.
want to say that when you're sending the file, I download it to my Eclipse,
Mhm.
but I cannot run it. So
Yes, you have to download these libraries. I'm not able to send these libraries as part of the email. Why? Because email will not allow these jars.
okay. Okay. Next class, actually, I'll try to do something in front of you that how can I run the
Yeah, you
copy
can
of
you
the
can download these jars and rest
yeah.
of the things are same. All the files I had given everything except this library folder.
That means I have to copy the library paste here, and if I want to run the things I need to run. Is that right?
Yes. Only libraries you have to download from the internet. Why? Because Gmails they will not allow libraries. It's executable files, right?
Yeah,
So virus will attack.
yeah.
Okay, this is one thing. And as part of once this example is over, right? So I have some another other example. Okay, so as part of that example, what I'm going to do. So for every time we are trying to copy the libraries, right? We are downloading and we are adding, correct?
Yeah.
So there is a Maven concept. You heard about Maven?
I heard about it. Yeah.
So I will
But,
explain you that Maven concept. So if you will use Maven, you no need to download any libraries.
okay.
So
Okay.
that will take care backend side. You no need to bother about what library we need to download. So if you see Maven project, you no need to add any libraries. So that is as part of last example, I'm going to give the Maven example. So that from by using that one, you can able to, I mean, that is very easy. No need to download the libraries. Correct. So that, I mean, that
Yeah.
will be very helpful for you. That is
Okay.
as part of
Yeah.
last example. I will explain you the Maven plus one of the Spring module.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, we will see in next class. Yeah, fine, no problem.